This is 250334 SM, the People versus James Crowley. Madam Prosecutor, can I get your name?
Nora Holloway on behalf of the people.
Mr. Crowley, can you tell me your first and last name?
My name's James Crowley.
All right.
Can I address the court?
Not yet.
Okay.
Was this being amended?
Yes, Your Honor. I am unfortunately still waiting on the warrant to be sent in to me.
All right. Can you talk by a microphone just
Yeah.
so she can pick you up? All right, because I had a note in here last time we were here that this was being amended to a felony.
Yes. We would like the bond conditions to remain where they are. I was hoping to get him arraigned on it today, but unfortunately it was not sent in to me. So I'm hoping by next week it will be.
All right. All right. So Mr. Crowley, the prosecutors indicated she intends on charging this as a felony, but that she doesn't have what she needs yet to do so. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And now what was it you wanted to say to the court, sir? My understanding is you do not want a lawyer. Is that correct?
I would like to terminate Mr. Gazicki as my attorney, and I would like to represent myself as of right now. And as I would like to, can you hear me, Your Honor?
I can.
Okay.
Let me tell you a few things before you go any further, because I think it's important for you to know. You have a right to remain silent, and anything you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you. So I want you to understand, before you make statements to this court, you have a constitutional right to an attorney. If you're firing your attorney and are you telling me there's been a breakdown of communication between the two of you?
Telling you that in no way, shape, or form has Mr. Gazicki done anything to develop a defensive legal strategy with me or take any maneuvers whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm not. Okay.
So your plan is to represent yourself?
Yes. For the time being. Is it, Your Honor, am I allowed to represent myself for a time until, like, maybe I can find an attorney or get a court appointed attorney that I feel more secure and confident in?
Well, we have other court appointed attorneys here. Mr. Coots is here today. You can meet with Mr. Coots if you want to meet with Mr. Coots on the case. But I only have so many options at court appointed attorneys, which means you only have so many options. I mean, you have a right, sir, to have an attorney at any time. And if you want to retain an attorney, you can get anyone you want. But if it's an attorney that is a public defender, we have 3 public defenders available to represent you at this court. I have Mr. Coots, Mr. Gazicki, and Mr. Fanto.
Well, then I guess my intent will be to represent myself, I suppose, for the duration of your courtroom, and then I'll just seek an appointed if they get away with increasing this to a felony. Am I allowed to object to the prosecution's adjournment?
Well, we're here today for what's the status of discovery?
So it has been sent out to counsel, Mr. Gazicki. But if he has fired him now, I would have to send it over to him himself if he's representing himself.
All right. You understand that, Mr. Crowley? Mr. Gazicki has your discovery. But if you are representing yourself, I mean, obviously it would be.
Your Honor, if I may, last week I asked Mr. Gazicki specifically about the discovery and the evidence that the prosecution is burdened of. He told me that he has not physically received a discovery package and that he only has the police report in his physical possession.
All right. Well, the police reports are discovery. I mean, that is part of discovery. And the only other thing there may be is body cam, I assume.
Yep. I would like, Your Honor, every Taylor Police body cam. I would like every phone call that was ever made to the Taylor Police from Jennifer or anybody else. I want a record I would like a record, Your Honor, of how many times the Taylor Police has been to my home in Taylor in the last 4 or 3 years.
Okay,
That's
well,
part
I
of my
don't know
evidence.
that they have those records. Whatever discovery you're entitled to that's in the discovery order, you will receive.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, I'll receive everything. All right. And I would like to, is this the time I could address some concerns like why I believe that my case should be dismissed today?
I mean, it's a pretrial. If you have a motion you want me to hear, then you can write up a motion or we can have an oral motion hearing. But the evidence in this case will be presented at trial. And if there's a pretrial motion you want to file, you're entitled to do that under law.
Okay,
But
so
no, I mean, we're here for a pretrial today.
all right, so I can't express myself verbally as to that. All right, copy that. Pre-trial today.
Has an offer been made?
I got witnesses. I got a ton of witnesses.
Wait. I'm asking the prosecutor a question. Go ahead.
I believe Mr. Gizicki and I had discussed it, but I don't believe there was any further discussion on it. I don't know of any acceptance. There was a bond violation recently, and I believe that was why those conversations got halted.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So the bond violation was ruled off a hearsay. I wanted to contest the witness that came forth, which is my own blood cousin. And Mr. Gizicki pretty much told me that I would be a fool and that he professionally recommends that I sit and remain silent as the witness defame my character. I got Romulus police stuff saying that I didn't have an issue. I can prove that she did this. My cousin made that bond hearing statement out of revenge, and I can prove it. I need Romulus police witnesses. I got all the information, Your Honor.
Okay.
I had to call the cops.
I've reviewed the bond hearing. I listened to the record on it. I'm aware of what the allegations were.
Okay.
And Judge Kirsten found a bond violation, and that was his ruling on the matter. So that's already been decided, sir. And a bond, I understand, has already been posted. So what we're doing right now is Miss Alui at this point is not ready to proceed on her felony case. It sounds like you're not interested in a plea offer. Is that correct?
I haven't even, my attorney hasn't approached me. The best that I know, to my knowledge, the prosecution has not offered me anything.
She said that her and Mr. Gizicki have been in discussions about a plea.
Mr. Gizicki, in no way, I give you my oath, Your Honor, that he did not say anything like that to me.
Well, he might not have told you yet because the offer, it's the only one that can make an offer is the prosecutor. Not me, not Mr. Gizicki, only her. So if she were to make an offer or they were negotiating an offer, he might not notify you of that until the actual offer's been made.
Oh, okay, I see. I understand. Thank you for your clarification, Your Honor.
Like if they're just having discussions about a potential resolution, he might not notify you until she actually says, here is an offer. He has an obligation as an attorney, once an offer is made, to notify you of that offer. So this is my thought. I'm not going to we're not going to just keep dragging this out forever. I'm setting a trial date. I see the complaining witnesses present. Defendants present. If you decide you want an attorney before this date, Mr. Crowley, you have got to notify the court. Because if you show up on the jury trial date, you can't show up on the day of trial and say, oh, and by the way, I want an attorney, because the attorney won't have time to prepare. So if you want an attorney, you have to let us know before this date so that that attorney can represent you.
Well, I guess I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to sink or swim by myself, Your Honor.
All right, well, I'm going to just tell you, Mr. Crowley, you have a right to do that, but I want to be clear on something. So lawyers go to law school, right? It's not fun. And then when they finish law school, they get this book. And this book is every rule you have to follow in court. There are rules of evidence. And without 3 years of law school, sir, you're not going to know them. So you're going to be upset because if you ask a question the wrong way and the prosecutor objects, I'm not going to allow you to ask the question. Like you have to follow the court rules just like an attorney would, right? And if you represent yourself, you're held to that same standard. So you might, like, I know people think they know what hearsay means, right? Because there's like a general definition of what people think hearsay is. And then there's actual real hearsay under the court rules. And I just want you to be aware, Mr. Crowley, you have a right to do it. I think it's ill-advised, but that's your choice. And we can set it for a jury trial.
If we may set a settlement next week as well, because I believe the warrant should have been submitted by that point.
All right, so Mr. Crowley, for now, what we'll do is I'm going to adjourn this for 1 week. Okay, we'll come back in a week. And at that point, if an offer is to be extended, it will be extended. So if there's an offer on your case, you'll find out about it next week. Whether that you want an attorney to discuss it or you want to discuss it directly with the prosecutor, that's your choice. Okay, and then after that, we will set our jury trial. And so we'll return. Your dates are 4/21 at 9 a.m. And that's for a settlement conference. Everyone can still appear via Zoom. If an offer is made or the prosecutor's moving to make these felonies, she has a right to do that. I don't know the evidence yet. I'm not supposed to. There will be a hearing where I get to hear all the evidence and make that determination, but it's not today. And then the jury trial date, I'm setting it now so we don't lose it. Jury trial date, the next day I have is July 25th at 9 a.m.
That was 9 a.m., Your Honor?
At 9 a.m. sharp in person. But next week, come on Zoom, okay?
All right. One thing, Your Honor, anything that's going to be discussed about me or a potential settlement, excuse me, or whatever, the prosecution's going to have to go through me from now on, please.
Well, you don't have a lawyer. You've waived your right to
an
attorney, so she'll have to talk to you. She'll have to.
I just want, okay.
Well, that's how it works. That's how the court rules work. If you don't have a lawyer, she'll talk to you. So we have bond continues. Nobody's to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
4/21 at 9 a.m. settlement conference via Zoom. And then jury trial 7/25 at 9 a.m. in person. It's the first date I have available.
All right.
I can get his contact information from this.
And I'll put him in a breakout room. You can get that information from him, okay? Mr. Crowley, I'm going to put you in a breakout room so the prosecutor can come and get information from you.
Your Honor, thanks for being awesome. I appreciate you guys very much.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure everyone follows the rules. Listen.
Exactly. Thank you.
Miss Ashby, Mr. Crowley, my job as a judge is to make sure people understand what they're doing and to make sure that people show up when they're supposed to and that they do not violate my bonds. Okay? So everybody is to continue doing what they're doing, no contact, and we'll put Mr. Crowley in a room so the prosecutor can get contact information from him, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're all set.
Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. Today's Tuesday. We're trying to get through the week. It feels like it should have been Friday already. We got a couple court cases from a couple different channels. We got Miss Fields, and we also have people in court. And so I couldn't find any other court cases from any other channels to steal tonight, so we're just going to do them too. One of the things on this case here, everybody was noticing how the guy was being an ass, and everybody was focusing on that. But the one thing that I kept noticing was, I don't know how in the world in the middle of talking I muted my own self. Anyways, this guy here, everybody's looking at him being an ass, but I kept noticing this complaining witness, the victim over here. If you notice Jennifer over here, I'm gonna move it back and forth and look at how emotional and just how upset she was during all of it. Imagine being a victim of some idiot like that, and all you want to see is justice, and you've got to see all this going on here. I think that bothered me more than anything is just watching her have to hear his garbage too. So we're going to go on and finish this one, and we've got Judge Hayward and whatever Miss Fields and people in court got for us. We got a couple of good ones there. So let's jump to the rest of this one, and we'll go on from there.
So the prosecutor can get contact information from him, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're all set. Who do you have first, Officer Ziegler?
Your Honor, this is, excuse me, Mr. Warner.
Okay, this is 250997, the People versus Joseph Warner.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Robert Coots on behalf of Mr. Warner, 43430. For purposes of arraignment, we plead not guilty. Waive the reading.
All right, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Mr. Warner, did you go over your constitutional rights with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you give Mr. Coots permission to sign your name on that document?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Warner, it is so sad to see you like this. It is just heartbreaking. You know, you have really had a chance to turn your life around, and I'm just looking at you, and you're presumed innocent. It's not even about the charge, Joe. It's that I know you could do better. I've seen you do better. I should have never let you out of the program. What's up? Where's the baby? I saw you wandering Eureka Road. You had an apartment, you had a relationship, you had a baby, and you were the primary caregiver for, and now I see you homeless, back to using, living on Eureka Road. It's heartbreaking.
I got my housing in Allen Park, and these last few weeks I haven't had my psych meds, and I've just been wandering around because I don't get to see nobody. Like, nobody's allowed in my apartment, and I just have to sit there by myself all the time. I ran out of my meds.
Joe, you're back to drinking now. And that's the thing. You knew then, you don't have to listen. I'm not even your judge on this case. I'm just telling you, when you want help, it's here. Because you're clearly back to drinking. And you cannot drink. You will kill yourself. You're going to kill yourself drinking. You need help.
I know, I was thinking about putting out handcuffs or something like that and going to an actual rehab. Because I just got my housing, I was doing good. I'm in anger management, I'm in AA, I'm doing that stuff. It's just everything just started going around me this week.
Joe, you need inpatient treatment, at least intensive outpatient treatment. AA meetings will do you no good if you're drinking, okay? When you're ready, all you have to do is walk in my courtroom. I will take you down to probation. We will find you a bed and you can get better. Whenever you're ready, I am here to give you that.
Okay.
But you have to want it. You walk in, Joe, you want help, we'll get you help. You got a $500 personal bond. You're to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court a change of address or phone number. You're to participate in whatever mental health treatment you're getting, and you're to take your meds appropriately. You understand me, Joe?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. That's the problem I'm having is I can't get my meds because they closed one store. They sent the stuff to CVS. I had Walgreens contacting the doctor. I can't get a hold of the doctor, and they're not refilling the meds. So I don't know what is going on in their end. And then I just started falling.
Joe, you need a caseworker. You need a case manager. You need a caseworker. You need
I
help.
have a case manager and a therapist. I gotta get a hold of them and see what they can do for me.
When you're ready for help, I'm just sitting here waiting for you. You understand? I'm just Joe, we're just sitting at the court. You walk into my courtroom, you ask for help, I'll get you help.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Yep. That was the end of that one. Thank you, Nancy, for the gifted membership. before doing YouTube, I never did gifted memberships. It made no sense to me. I didn't pay no attention to it. But I can't begin to tell you how many times I get messages just being thankful that somebody gifted them a membership, somebody that really hadn't paid attention to the channel, and they got a gifted membership, and it made all the difference to them. So thank you guys for the gifted memberships. People do like them. People do appreciate them. I guess YouTube sends an email to them, kind of waking them up, telling them, "Hey, check out the channel. Somebody gifted you a membership," and that certainly helps keeps the lights on. So thank you guys so much for that. We're gonna let's go ahead and go to Miss Fields. That way we can mix those up. Again, this is Miss Fields, Court of Public Opinion. I'll put a link in the description to her channel. Go check it out. Subscribe, like, do all that other stuff. Here we go.
Your Honor. Hilarious, Travante.
Okay, now I know which one this one is. This is Judge McNally. This was today. He deleted his courts today, so I'm assuming it was based off of this. This was a good one here. This guy's an idiot, but you'll get to see that here. You'll get to see it on your own.
2 will be 716 3361.
Michael Carmen, 37384 on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Your name?
That area is
What, are you bringing your kid to court because you know you're gonna go to jail?
No, Your Honor.
Don't play games with me.
I'm not playing.
Don't play games with me. I don't want people playing games with me.
I don't play any type of.
Listen, you better call somebody and have them come and get that child. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, and then we'll call the case. What I'm gonna do, I'm not quite sure, but I've seen this little trick before. I mean, I didn't just get here 2 months ago, okay? We'll call somebody, get the child. I'll call a case when we're ready. And I'm telling you, if you leave, you're gonna have a big problem with me. You understand what I'm telling you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yep. Okay. Go! Will you hand me my screen box?
All right, I'll go ahead and mute that one and not mute me. Carla, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the gifted membership, Carla.
204, please, 716-3361. Are you guys hearing this case, victims?
And you got Zoomy Mama. Thank you, Carla.
All right, Mr. Carmen, your name?
Michael Carmen, 37384 on behalf of the defendant.
Mr. Bryant, come on to the podium, state your name.
Your Honor, as far as his employment status, he, since January of 2024, has been working at Cosmic Comics, both in Livonia and Fraser. Both locations earned $340 a week. They'll lose that job if he has to go to jail. He has been living in Romulus with his girlfriend. They've been together since 2019. They have 2 children together, ages 1 and 7 months. He just made arrangements for her to pick up the 7-month-old. Your Honor, he's not been incarcerated in several years. He does have a pending matter in Wayne County that's set for sentencing next Monday.
Mr. Mohammed, your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mohammed on behalf of the people.
You wrote down full restitution on this. I just want you to be aware, this is the B&E vehicle to steal property, 200 or more. I just want you to be aware that none of the victims are here. Less than 200, I'm sorry. Lisa, just confirm that my understanding is correct. It looks like he pled guilty to count 1, which is the 1 year, and count 2 was dismissed. Is that true?
That's correct.
So I just want you to be aware of that.
And Judge, I apologize. Which case is this?
This is Tri-Areas Travante Buoie. It's a B&E vehicle to steal property, 200 or more, but less than 1,000. It's a 1 year. So I just want you to be aware. I called the names. You're not here. You just put down PSI full restitution, and none of them show. So I'm not going to order any restitution out of this thing.
And Judge, may I ask, does the court send notices to them or?
Yeah, we did send notice.
Okay.
The probation department did when I ordered the pre-sentence report.
So,
Okay.
I understand, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Carmen?
Yeah, since my client shares, the care and custody of 2 young children with his girlfriend that he lives with. If he's got to go to jail, it's going to be very hard on our young family.
You should think about these things before we go out and steal. I mean, seriously.
I understand.
I don't know if you do or not. I find it a little hard to believe. I mean, you could sit and give me lip service, but you had a RNC motor vehicle in 2021, you had a domestic, where you didn't comply with probation in 22. Conviction was entered on that. You had a retail fraud 23, we're just convicted of felony retail theft in Illinois. We have another case you're bound over to the 33rd, I'm sorry, bound over from here, stealing or retaining.
Hey, Casey, just wanted to say, you said whose signature is that in the corner of Judge's screen? That is Miss Fields Production. She puts that on there so that people can't steal her work without, so people can't steal her work. I don't mind stealing her work because I don't mind giving her credit for it. She's an awesome person. She and I talk behind the scenes a lot, just talking about YouTube and such. In the end, you can't find a better person. She's great, and she is awesome to steal her content from. So anytime you want to steal content, hers is what you'd want to grab.
Without consent of financial transaction device. If that's the case, he's going to be sentenced on?
Yes, Your Honor, and there's a sentencing agreement in that case of 2 years probation.
I mean, that's great.
But I'm just informing the court.
No, I get it. I'm just telling you, he's got it. Bench warrants out of the 34th for assault and battery. Bench warrant out of the 52nd for retail fraud 3. The bench warrant for retail fraud 3 out of Southgate. Retail fraud bench warrant out of the 16th. You up on any of those?
Yes, Your Honor.
When?
I've been taking care of the warrants since I've been out, Your Honor, and
Lisa, can you run his lien again for me, please? This lien
Sure.
is a few days old. Let me just double check.
And my client indicated he's contacted those courts.
You contact.
yes, Your
What
Honor.
do you mean?
I contacted those courts and they told me that I have to turn myself in and see a judge.
Well, you haven't taken care of the warrants then, have you?
No, I have been taking care of some of the warrants, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I have been taking care of a
All
number.
right, I'm gonna just check with her and see. Now you're breaking into cars. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You've been unemployed and then you were working at Fast Splash Car Wash. You collected money on a bridge card. You need to go back and get a GED or a diploma. You need to work harder. I don't know why you're not working. You need to work. That's your decision though. But to go out and support a family by feeding all the time is not the answer.
Your Honor, he is working, and I updated the court on that.
I know you did, but still, this report was just done, right? This report was just, let me just double check this. So I ordered the pre-sentence report on March 25th. I'm just telling you that they reported then that he was unemployed for the past 8 months. Why were you unemployed for the 8 months preceding that report?
I wasn't unemployed, Your Honor. I was just helping my baby mother going through the postpartum and dealing with the kids. I was still working.
Well, you told them you were unemployed. Reports being unemployed for the past 8 months.
And I don't know why I put that, and I shouldn't have put that. I've been working since January 2024.
All right. Let me see, you don't see any of those other warrants. I think you just answered my question. You don't see any other warrants cleared out of the locations I just mentioned, right?
No, I don't see any other warrants.
Well, I'm just saying, see the lien in here, but probation reported open warrants issued to the 37th District Court, 16th, the 28th, the 34th, and the 52-3 District Court. Do you see any of those warrants on this lien now?
No, I just ran it and I do not see any warrants.
Good. All right, well, anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
He did not spend any time in jail on this, correct?
No.
Where's the child now?
She's going, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
She's going, Your Honor.
Was the mother of the child here?
No, she wasn't here. Someone else came to pick her up.
It's supposed to mean like you become a professional thief. 200 fines, 400 costs, 75 victims' rights, $50 justice assessment, 7.25 and 40 days jail. You'll serve 325 more if you don't pay your fines and costs. I'll let you pay those at the rate of $75 per month. And I will let that start beginning on June the 15th. If you don't have the money at any point, you call the court. I'll be happy to give you an extension. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for the court. Appeal. Good luck to you. I wish you well. It's Mr. Strong out there yet. And I don't know where Mr. Widener is and whether you're retained or newly appointed or what have you. If he isn't here, I'm not going to do anything but issue a warrant for his arrest. But next time I'm gonna have to have you either here or in a place where I can see you. What is going on back there? Hang on 1 second. Lisa, what is going on back there in the jail? I don't feel comfortable handling this right now. Can you give me a minute? Something's going on back in the jail there.
Yeah, Judge, we got the guys back there right now. You want to take a quick break?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a break. Something's going on in the jail there, the lockup. Just give me a minute, please. Stay seated, go off the record. John, you tell him one more word. Listen, one more word, I'm gonna go out, tell him he's gonna get 30 more days. Okay. Let's go, man. 24B7163361. Mr. Bryant, you need.
Here is Brian.
Listen. I'm not gonna put up with you yelling and screaming back there anymore. If I have to call you out here again, I'm gonna give you 30 days for contempt on top of the time that I just gave you. 30. You don't get to act like that. I hope you clearly and fully understand me. If you don't, I'm gonna have you out. Because I would hear you again. And then I'm gonna lock you up for 30 days. And we're gonna do this all day long. You're not gonna make a scene here in the courtroom. That sentencing, if anything, was too light. I'm not playing with you.
How is it too late?
Mr.
I have a judge that I gotta go to felony court. This is a district court. I got sentencing on felony court.
Knock it off. Knock it off. And go tell them. You have 5 or 6 felony, you have 5 or 6 theft offenses, you're breaking into people's cars. Just think you could make a living by being a thief?
But I'm not a thief.
Oh, okay. Have a seat in the back, speak up again, you're getting 30 more days. I promise you, that's not a threat, it's a promise.
Bro, I don't give a fuck.
Good, come here, contempt of court, bring them up.
No, bro.
You're gonna send another.
You're gonna get bangers. I got people saying, you know, I don't care. You know, not the moon, kill up. People stop for kill me. Be on run over flat. Stop run this shit off. At all. At all. So I got surgery on Monday now. You got fuck on my system. Oh my man. Stop. Fuck off me, bro.
All right, Mr. Klein. Settle down.
You off, man.
Go down.
No, you're gonna get taken, bro. Taste me, Jimmy. Taste me.
We don't want it. We don't.
Taste me.
Stop resisting.
Like I got kids that I gotta raise by myself.
You ain't making it any better.
You keep making it seem like I'm just a thief. I gotta prove that
I want to see what you're doing.
I gotta prove
Knock
that
it off first.
Knock it off.
Hey, listen to me. Look at this. You're making it twice as bad.
Mr. Bryant, go back in the back. I'm gonna let bygones be bygones, except for the initial jail term. One more word, and I'm telling you, you're doing 30 more days.
How many days?
Enough.
That's funny. The guy's showing out and just completely erratic, and the judge gives him a chance to back out, and he's like, "All right, I'll shut up. I'll shut up." You gotta give the judge credit. You know, he tells him that he'll let bygones be bygones. I don't know that I could have done that as a judge. I think I'd have had to make it stick, but judge giving him another chance shows he's a fair guy.
Enough. Just control yourself.
Okay.
Stop stealing.
Yeah, it is like already. Yeah, bro. Go inside, go inside. It's real good problems out here. Real life, bro. And y'all
You're not doing good in a court hearing when you're getting picked up off the floor by bailiffs.
just be locking the fuck up for no reason, bro. I never understood that, bro. But a woman do anything, bro. Don't let her go. She be good. A woman be good, bro.
I wonder where he borrowed that kid from when he first came in.
But I want that. I had to talk to you, bro.
All right, it's time to cut that video out before that song pops up. Carly, you're saying that detective's upset, wants to be in the courtroom? Lena's thought she was a cashier or a barista. I keep trying to tell her, no, that's a detective to her. So, all right, we're going to go to Clayton County, Judge Hayward. Yeah, let's go there. That'd be a good one to go to.
Motion to revoke bond for Mr. Anthony Jerome Buoie, 2025 CR 03122.
Judge, it's a motion to modify the set bond, Your Honor. It was continued. The state objected for it, the hearing.
Oh,
to
that's
the
right.
same
I'm
day.
sorry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Motion to modify bond. All right, you're good, Mr. Buoie. All right, so it's the defense motion. Go ahead, sir.
Judge, so Mr. Buoie is held in custody with no bond on his charge. We had some discussion about this, but initially he was denied bond by the magistrate court because they had information that he was apparently on probation at that time. However, at this time, and I believe the state will concede this point, Mr. Buoie is not on probation in any jurisdiction, so he is not a probationer. So our argument is that provision of the code does not apply to Mr. Buoie at this time, and he is entitled to a bond on his misdemeanor case. I also, Judge, from the time that Mr. Buoie has been incarcerated, he did lose his job. And I believe that under the bond code and additional amendments to that, one of the inquiries that the court needs to make in setting a bond is the defendant's ability to pay. So Mr. Buoie is indigent at this time, and we're asking the court to set a very reasonable bond in his case. I believe that because of the charge, a UJR would not be, probably not be granted in this case, Judge, but we would ask the court to consider, because some of the new revisions to the code, Judge, but we would ask the court to consider setting a low bond so that Mr. Buoie can make it. The alleged victim in this case, his son, is currently on the call, and I would like to ask him some questions just in reference to whether he feels that Mr. Buoie being released would be would put him in any kind of fear, or if he's in any fear of Mr. Buoie violating his bond conditions there. But Joe, Mr. Buoie has not had an opportunity to get out on bond on this case. He does maintain his innocence. And
okay, who's the alleged victim in the case?
His son.
How old is the son?
21.
Where does he live?
With me.
Oh, not anymore.
Well, not anymore.
Who is currently in the house?
We don't have a house no more, Yana. We lost the crib.
He wants the what?
We lost our apartment right now. So he's currently living with a friend right now. He's living from friend to friend until I get back home. And he is on the Zoom call, just so the court's aware.
All right. So Mr. Buoie, I don't know what happened. But I will say this, it's hard for adults to live together. And I know a lot of people are in the financial situation. Just hear me out. You're looking at me crazy, but just hear me out. I've been doing this a while. It's hard for adults to live together. And you're looking at financial situations where people are like, yeah, we're gonna stay here. My adult son is gonna live with me in the house and he's gonna help me with the bills and we're gonna be able to do this. And a lot of times that doesn't work. And so I don't want you to say anything that might jeopardize your defense. But what I say is a lot of times parents think they're doing the best that they can by either living with an adult child or having that adult child live with them in their space. But a lot of times, because you got two adults in a space, don't nobody want to follow anybody else's rules. It doesn't always work out like you think it should. And even though you think some of these family situations will blow over and they can be repaired by the time we get to this point, y'all have already made up or whatever. But the problem is that's not how the court looks at it. Okay. And so sometimes you have to understand that even when y'all see it differently, like that's just, we squashed that beef, it's water under the bridge. That's not how the courts look at it. Okay, so what I say is sometimes it's easier for y'all, if it's a financial thing, for y'all to each get roommates and not live together. But you keep looking at me crazy.
Ms. Judge, can I say something, please? I haven't got a chance to talk at all.
Go ahead.
My situation. Like my mother passed away down here. We came down here to Loganville, Georgia. My son and me is the only people we have. I never put my hands on my son. That's why my son is spoiled. He's 21 years old. I'm waiting for him to get his situation right, for him to get him a car and all that. Right now, I'm the breadwinner. I don't need.
But Mr. Buoie, what I'm saying to you is, he's 21.
I know, Judge. Everybody tells me that. That's true.
But I'd say it to so many parents, and then when y'all get in this situation, I'm supposed to understand that you ain't do anything and he's spoiled. I get that. But no, New York, hold on, New York. I get that. But what I'm saying is, as a parent and as somebody who was raised by a single mom, for the most part, I have a stepdad who helped raise me. The point is, a lot of times we spend so much time coddling these kids and they never feel the rough side. And then when it comes time for us to discipline them, they buck up. And if you old school like me, you got one time to buck up against me and I'm gonna put my hand through your chest. Now I might go to jail, but I'm gonna put my hand through your chest. So what I say to you is, we keep saying, well, we're helping them, but are we really? Because what we're doing is making them irresponsible. Let me ask you the question. When did you leave home? What age were you?
15.
It's always the parents who left home at 15, 16, 17. I get you know how hard it is out here on these streets, but you made it. But you're going to coddle his 21-year-old butt. And then this is the situation you in. Y'all don't have a home because you lost it. You don't have a job because you lost it. And he is talking about, let my daddy out. Well, this is a situation caused by two adults who can't live together in the same house. And when you tell me, well, see, let me talk. I understand this situation much better than you think I do, because I see it all the time. And it's always the parent who loses, because even if the child goes to jail, the parent is trying to put money on their books, pay their bond, pay for a lawyer. What I'm telling you is, I get that it might just be the two of y'all. But two grown people, sometimes, especially if they know each other, have difficulty living together. While you sitting there trying to prop him up to get himself together, what is he doing? Is he in trade school? Is he in college? Is he working?
Yeah, he works at Kroger. And I was taking him to work I hear what you're saying. Like, I'm taking him to work every day. Now he has to take an Uber. He works at Kroger factory. He's doing good. He making some money. But I was taking him to work every day and making him save his money so he could buy his car. And that's why, I have another daughter too. So he got kind of a little jealous of her, me teaching her how to drive. That's how we got into this argument. And that's how we got into this
I
fight.
get that. But what I'm saying to you is he's 21. He's a
Yes.
full-grown man.
Yes, I understand that now, Judge, from being in here with a lot of 19, 18, 21-year-old killers that I'm in here with now, I understand that now. I didn't understand that before. Like you sound from New York, I came down to Georgia, and I ain't want him to be like me. Like my mother left us some money, you know what I mean, to make sure he was good. He graduated from Grayson High School in Loganville. So, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't afford to send him to college, so I was trying to make him get his age back. So
I get that, but even if you can't afford to send him to college, you know how I went to school? I took out loans. I worked 2 jobs in college. So it is not impossible to do. And while parents keep wanting to do everything, I had a job where as soon as I finished school, I was on the bus headed to my job. I worked that job, came home late at night, went straight back to campus. It was every single day, 7 days in a week. I was either working and in school or working or in school every single day, 7 days a week. I never had a break. So what I'm telling you is he can do that, but you got to let him fall. A lot of times we as parents keep propping these kids up and then it's to your detriment. Now he on the call wanting everything to be all right, to tell me it's all good and I need my daddy to be out. But he doesn't understand that he needs to be out there making his life do what it do. You grown now. You don't owe him anything past the point of 18.
I know
And
that.
so you driving him to work, you making sure he do this, you making sure, all we doing is making kids weak. When I was in high school, I had 2 jobs. So what I'm saying is, let's stop propping these babies up. Let's give them the opportunity to be responsible and do what they need to do. Because when we keep holding them up and they never feel the rough, they don't know what it's like. And then they're gonna buck up against you. No. Okay.
I understand.
So,
Judge.
I don't have a problem.
Can I say one more thing, Judge?
Yes, sir.
What about the 30 days they just made me do for, and I have the paperwork that I wasn't on probation on.
I got you, sir. Look, we'll take all that into credit. What I'm gonna do is, knowing the nature of the situation, as long as you and your son don't have any contact with each other, I will give you what, he has no bond on any of the charges.
No, Judge. Well, sorry.
Does he have a history of any kind?
He doesn't have a bond on the, I believe can you pull it up, Chaz, what his bond situation? I know he doesn't have on the battery family violence.
That's all I see.
Yeah, that's right. That's the only charge that he does have. So he's
okay. So, I'll give him a $1,000 bond on each of the charges, and he can do property. He can do cash. He can do bond company. I don't care.
Okay, Judge. So you want me to draft an order to that effect? Or
yeah, as long as there's no contact with the son until this case is resolved.
Okay, and that's a $1,000 bond for the pending charge.
For what now?
That's a $1,000 bond per the, I believe it's 1 count.
1 count.
Now, I'm looking at 4 counts.
Oh, I'm sorry, but so it would, they're lesser included, right, Judge? So it would be.
What?
So it's like battery family, the way we typically see battery, family violence, battery, simple battery.
Yeah, those 4.
So those would be lesser included. So you want $1,000.
Okay, so then a $2,000 bond on the battery family violence.
Okay.
So the other ones, because I don't know how you want me to count it.
Well, so Judge, my concern, obviously I want the lowest amount for my client, but what I want to make sure that what I submit is something that the sheriff's office will understand how to, because he's only held on battery family violence. I understand that the accusation has.
Well, I was talking to somebody at the jail recently about that, because I was trying to figure out how we're supposed to do it. And she was telling me that if we put the bond on the charge he's held on, then the rest of it should work out.
That's what that's
okay. Well, then revise that to be a $2,000 bond on battery family violence, and then the rest of them will work themselves out. If you have to split them, then split them among the 4. If you don't, then put it on the first one.
Okay, Judge, I'll submit an order to you as soon as we
Okay, so whatever would give him an aggregate $2,000 bond.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, all right.
All right. All right. So I'm guessing this guy is in for domestic violence because the son's the complaining witness and trying to get him out of the charges. We see a lot of times people get caught up in domestic violence, and whoever they beat up or whoever they were hurting changes their minds, whether they're relying on the person to pay their bills or they're relying on the person for other means. They tend to completely back out. But yeah, this is Clayton County, Georgia. If you look up Clayton County Court, room 304, this judge right here pops up. It's got her picture on it, and she's great. You gotta wait through the wait on it, but like this was today. I'm halfway decent on some of these judges on getting the cases to video. Sometimes whenever you watch the live court feeds, it just takes forever. It just sometimes you just sitting there watching paint peel. Judge Fleischer today had a slow day, and there was times when it was so slow in the courtroom. There was 10 people there, but I thought the screen was froze because he just nothing going on. But then again, I don't think they do that. I don't think they do court just for our entertainment. I'd like to think so, but I don't think so. So next one we're going to go to is people in court. It looks like Texas to me. It was it's a child support thing. The lady was talking crazy. I watched it for about 10 seconds. She was talking crazy, and so I thought I'd grab it here. People in Court also is another great channel to steal videos from. She does great. Make sure to go check out her channel. Like and subscribe, and anytime you guys go over there, tell them you came from American Courts. Show some love there, and tell her that way. If she gets mad about me stealing her video, she'll be a little less mad.
I moved out due to a physical altercation where he was holding my daughter in his hands, and he physically altercated me. He did leave me with a $400 bill in my name at the other house that I paid off all by myself. I don't see why I need to pay him radioactive child support respectfully.
Yes, she just said pay him back radioactive child support. So this
We
one's
are
gonna be
here
fun.
on the Attorney General's Uniform Interstate Family Support Act petition. Present in the virtual courtroom is Mikkel Schaefer. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Also present is Assistant Attorney General Whitney Kuntz. Are you ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Mikkel Angelica Schaefer.
And what is the full name of your child on the case?
Kamari.
Who is Kamari's father?
Stephon Maurice Bates.
And does Kamari currently live with Mr. Bates?
Yes.
And when did Kamari start living with Mr. Bates?
I say roughly around like September of last year, October.
Okay. Where were you employed in January of 2023?
Eagle Flats Village.
And how much did you earn when you worked at Eagle Flats?
14 hourly.
And how many hours did you work per week?
In January, I was working different hours.
Okay.
So between like anywhere between like 34 and 38, it really just fluctuated.
When did you stop working for Eagle Flat?
Just a few days ago, the 9th, I believe.
Okay. And over the time from January of 2023 up until you stopped working there last week, do you know what you would average per week in terms of the number of hours you worked?
About 35.
Okay. Do you have any other minor children besides the child on this case?
No, ma'am.
And where are you currently employed?
Nowhere.
do you, what happened with your job with Eagle Flat?
I was asked to do something that I was not comfortable with. I refused. There were disagreements and what's the word? Differences, and she ended up letting me go, my boss.
Okay. And are you seeking unemployment benefits?
Yes, and currently seeking employment as well.
Okay. Do you have any interviews lined up?
No, ma'am. I have been calling the state hospital because they're about to have some spots open up. But I've really just been following up on the applications that I've put in the past couple of days over this weekend. Since I've been let go, I've put in a handful, and I will be following up with them probably tomorrow or whenever I'm off of the phone.
Sure, Jan.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Okay. Ms. Schaefer, do you have any other testimony that you would like to share?
I do, yes.
Okay, what is that?
There was a statement where when I first got served the child support papers, there was an option to dispute it. And I did write it. It's about 14 pages that I handwritten. I got it turned. I went to go turn it in a day after. And I didn't realize that it was the day after that I could turn it in. So it's just basically my disputing statement from prior that I did not get to turn in.
Okay, so can you hit the high points of what you're disputing? And it needs to be narrowly focused to whether this is about you paying child support, medical support, and back support going back to January of this year. So those three subjects, what are you disputing as to why you should not have to pay any of those things?
There are a number of reasons, but he has not had a single job since we split up. I believe that he is not reporting all income in the household on his like TANF and food stamps and stuff.
Okay, and just to give you, for Texas, we only count your income, the person that doesn't have possession of the child. So their income doesn't factor into what we do to calculate support.
Well, the income that he is not providing, I believe, is the reason that they are even getting approved for these government funds and the reason I'm having to pay these child support. So I want to dispute it, and pretty much I want 50% custody from him because he's had times where we've had agreements, verbal agreements of when I'm supposed to have her because my work threw me around a lot. I covered in spots for my boss. People who either quit or got fired, I would cover that spot for a while. So I was going from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. to 8 to 4 to 9 to 5 and just kind of being thrown around in there. So my days off would change. And I would let him know, like, hey, I'm kind of being thrown around. My days are going to change. And there would be a lot of times where he would make plans with like his girlfriend or something, or just girls or his friends, like on days that I was supposed to have her and there was really no reason that I couldn't still take her. He just was, I mean, like, I don't want to say keeping her from me, but he was
okay, but you understand that again, this is only to do with current child support, medical support, and retroactive child support, and the visitation is not part of this, what we're doing today.
Yes, I understand that. But I have had a job basically since I had a job my entire pregnancy with him for 7 months, and then he didn't have a job. And then he kept his job for maybe 4 months and he was let go because he couldn't not be late or he couldn't not show up. And then after that, he never got a job again. And I have been working full time since 2 months after I moved out. due to a physical altercation where he was holding my daughter in his hands. And he physically altercated me. I ended up getting all my stuff, moving out the next day.
All right, so far this lady's voice is driving me crazy. He physically altercated me. Radioactive child support. I'm having a hard time thinking that she. You know, I think the lady on the video said that she may have been playing around with it a little bit, but she's certainly having problems with her words. And I know as someone who has problems with his words, it can be frustrating, but she's wearing me down a little bit. All right, let's go back.
I went back to my mom's house. And then I just got on my feet from there. I went and I got a full-time job at the place she was working at. There was a position open, and she didn't get me the job or anything. Like, I went and got my own job. And I had been working there ever since until last week when me and my boss had the differences and she ended up letting me go.
What did you do at that job? What was your function?
I was a resident aide and assistant, and I was also housekeeping for a while. So a resident assistant, basically, let's see, I have a list of objectives.
Okay, but I mean, you don't have to get just big picture. Let's stay big picture. So how are you supporting yourself right now?
I just applied for unemployment the day I got released, and I've been applying to jobs every day since I've got released, but currently I'm not supporting myself at all because when I was making my money, I was making too much to get approved for food stamps or anything like that. The only thing that I do have is Texas Healthy Women's, and I haven't used it since I've had it.
Over the last 11 months when you were employed, did you send money to Mr. Bates to help support your child?
Yes.
How much did you send?
I wouldn't be able to recall that, but I do have money from recently. I know I have sent at least 100 in the past couple of months for because I don't have a car, so they'll bring her to me and then I'll pay them to come pick her up. But before it was sent increments of, I know there was a time I sent $75 to him because he asked for it. But there was also times where I would offer money and he would tell me he didn't want my money, and he didn't want me to send him money even if I offered it. That's also part of the reason that I'm wanting to dispute this, because there was so many times that I have my mom witness for and so many people. That's besides the point, but he wouldn't take my money even when I did offer it to him half of the time. And then he will come back and say that I didn't do any of this, or that I didn't try, or that I don't see my daughter even though he doesn't work. So I have to have her on my days off because I can't take her up to work. It's not an option for me. I'm about to go enroll her in daycare and see if she can get approved for that for low income. Because I just have to provide like diapers, wipes, and I think food for her, which I have all of means necessary to provide for her. I have everything here that I need for her. Everything that I do have here, I got on my own, but also me and him had a lot of stuff conjoined together for Kamari that he took with him and I never saw, like clothes, bottles, etc. Everything that I needed for her, I had to go out and buy on my own because he wouldn't even split them in half with me. I asked him, because we had clothes all the way up to 24 months, when she was only about 6 months old, that I asked him if we could go through, he could split them with me because they were ours, and he never did. I mean, there's a list of things.
Yeah, we're getting beyond the scope again of what we're talking about. So last 11 months, current child support, current medical support, and where the child lives. That's what I'm looking at. Ms. Kuntz, do you have any further testimony?
Miss Schaefer, you mentioned a physical altercation. Do you have any concerns with your address and other identifying information being in the court order?
My address?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am. It did not happen at my address.
Okay, and you don't believe that having it in there would pose a risk of any type of harm or harassment to you?
No.
Okay.
I belong. It was when I was living with him. at a whole different address that neither of us live at anymore.
Okay, and I know we talked about this, but I don't think I asked you previously. Do you have access to any health or dental insurance the child could be on?
I believe I'm not quite sure if she could be put on my mom's insurance, but I think that she can. I think that it's possible, and there's like vision, dental insurance on there that I know of. I know there's dental.
But at this time, nothing available directly to you, is that correct?
I believe so. I'm really not sure.
Okay, I pass the witness.
Okay. Any other witnesses, Ms. Kuntz?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, the state is rested. That means they have no further evidence or testimony. Do you also rest, Ms. Schaefer?
Not necessarily. I really wanted to get through my statement. I definitely have more points in here.
Does it have anything to do with child support or medical support?
It has to do with the safety in the household that she is in.
Okay, so that's something that you would have to address with the other state, probably. So child support or medical support?
He did leave me with a $400 bill in my name at the other house that I paid off all by myself. He did not help me with. I did ask help. He refused. But he basically left the bill in my name whenever I moved out. And they were supposed to call and get it changed because that's how we did it the first time. I called and I got it changed in my name. So they said that they were going to do it. And then months later, I went to go get my gas turned on at this new house, at my own house, when I got this house. And I could not get it turned on because he had left a $400 bill in my name that I ended up having to pay off on myself that did not get paid off until just a few months back. Sorry, I'm just trying to skim through this to see if I did try to dispute the bill. It didn't end up getting disputed how I thought that it would, and they still left the bill in my name. So I did end up having to pay it off by myself. But yeah, I was paying $1,200 a month roughly for my bills. On top of paying for her on my own. And then he still wouldn't accept any of my money that I did ask him several times. If I asked him if he needed anything, if Kamara needed anything, if he needed me to send him money, he would refuse and tell me he didn't need my pity money or the physical altercation was just he was dragging me by my wrist, trying to throw me out of the house physically while he was holding Kamari in his hands. But that was when we were living together. And that was the reason I left.
So did you and Mr. Bates have an agreement about where the child would live?
Yes, because I was going to have a full-time job and he was not.
Okay. All right. Close, Ms. Kuntz.
Your Honor, the state, based on the UFSA documents and requests from the state of Oklahoma, is asking that there be a retroactive support judgment going back to January of 2023. I calculated that based on the income that Ms. Schaefer testified she had from Eagle Flat, and came out with a total of $4,098.49 prior to any credit the court may determine appropriate. And then as far as current support, if the court determines a minimum wage presumption might be appropriate under the circumstances, what we would request on that is $56 per month on medical support, $219 per month on child support. And we do ask Ms. Schaefer be responsible for the court costs in the matter. And Your Honor, I believe that sums up everything we're asking for today in this, and of course that paternity be established. I apologize, Your Honor.
I'm not sure how you get paternity to be established, Ms. Kuntz.
I apologize, Your Honor. I was just based on Ms. Schaefer's testimony that he was the father is what
But
I was asking that in
he's not
regards.
under our jurisdiction. So I mean, this should be an establishment of support order since it's against the mom.
Yes,
not
Your
the
Honor, I
dad.
understand.
Okay. All right. A summary of your request, Ms. Schaefer.
I'm sorry.
Can you do I'm asking you, do you want to have a statement, a final statement, a close, as Ms. Kuntz also had?
I don't see why I need to pay him radioactive child support respectfully, because I did offer him money. He's brought my daughter down into my town and just not let me see her, not let me know she's here. He's kept her from me. And I have really tried with him. He verbally abuses me, which is why I don't physically text him myself. I text his mother because he cannot be a responsible adult and talk to me like an adult. He's really just put me through it with my daughter, and I believe that I do support my child, and I need to. So it's not about the current child support for me, really. It's about the radioactive child support and the fact that he just flat out refused money. I helped him out, and he refused to help me. Everything that we and him had together, he kept, didn't give me any of it, and I still went and I got everything for my daughter on my own, and I still support her on my own without help. And he's still asking for my help, and I don't mind helping him now, but just everything from January to at least like right after summer was just, I don't believe that I need to pay the radioactive child support due to many countless reasons that I can't even list right now.
Okay. All right. I do find that you do have a duty to support your child because you are the mother of the child and the child is not in your care, in someone else's care. I will set current child support based on minimum wage because you're currently unemployed at this time. That doesn't mean it can't be modified in the future, but you're capable of maintaining a minimum wage job. I will set current child support at $220 per month beginning December 1st, 2023. I will order government health insurance and you to pay cash medical support of $50 per month beginning December 1st, 2023. I will give you some credit over the regarding some bills and some debt that you were left with that I actually had to do with support for the child. I am ordering $2,500 in retroactive child support for the last 11 months and ordering $25 per month payout towards that judgment beginning December 1st, 2023. I'm ordering you to pay court cost 1 year from today's date. Any party can ask for a new hearing within the next 3 days by filing a trial de novo. It must be in writing. It must specify the portion of my ruling in which a new hearing is being requested, and notice must go out to all of the parties. And today, after this hearing, Ms. Kuntz will prepare an order, submit it to me for signature, and then a copy will go out to you, Ms. Schaefer, and which will detail all the things that I've just ruled upon. Thank you for being here. That concludes the hearing, and you are free to disconnect from the Zoom meeting.
I do have a quick question about what you said to make sure the information is correct that I wrote down. The clerk dispute, you said you could do that in 3 days. What was the first word that you said? I'm sorry.
Trial de novo.
How do you spell that? I'm so sorry.
Trial, T-R-I-A-L.
Okay.
D-E-N-O-V-O.
Okay.
That means new trial.
In the $220 and the $50 a month, you said that starts December 1st?
Yes, you'll have the whole month to pay it. As long as you get those done within those 30 days, then you will not be delinquent. in your current child support obligations.
And then the $25 each, and that said that that started December 1st. What was the $25 each for?
$25 per month to pay back retroactive child support for the last 11 months.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's everything.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll end it there without that music at the end. Do y'all like music at the end of videos? I've never been able to figure out what to do at the end of the videos. I normally just cut it off and then get the DMs that I need to have something at the end. So, all right, well, we're gonna call it quits for tonight. It's one of those nights. Hey, if your name's not on the ending credits, you can blame Linus. Get with her. Tell her you want your name on the ending credits. I don't control that. That's all. We outsource that to our foreign help. So if you don't see your name on it, get it on it. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow with Judge Fleischer.
He left without signing his mower.
Oh, yes.
Please.